Ladies and gentlemen, hello once again on Cowboys Insiders. Today, the Dallas Cowboys could shake up 2026 NFL draft due to the signing of George Pickens. The Dallas Cowboys were listed as the team that could shake up the entire NFL draft. So the following are the breakout campaign during his first season with the Dallas Cowboys. George Pickens is ready to cash in the Dallas Cowboys. George Pickens recorded a career high in reception of 93 yards and 1,429 and touchdowns of 9, so establishing him as the one of the premier playmaker in the NFL. To ensure they can keep him around in 2006, the Cowboys used the franchise tag on Pickens, which will pay him approximately $27 million. The two sides can still work on a long-term deal, but there is no indication that the Dallas Cowboys will even entertain an extension at this point. That's why a Bleacher Report, Christopher Knox, says a draft day trade is possible for the Dallas Cowboys to extend the long contract with George Pickens. So what would shake up the entire NFL draft? According to ESPN's Todd Archer, the Cowboys have not had discussions with Pickens about a long-term deal. If an extension doesn't seem either likely or sensible, trading Pickens and getting a receiver on a rookie contract could be an option, an oxalot. It might not be an option for a Dallas Cowboy where are likely to exercise. However, if prospects like Arizona State, Jordan Clayson, and Ohio State are Corner Tate, or Mukai Lemon is sitting there, whether a Dallas is on the clock, it's one that could become more appealing, and having a Pickens land with another team while a top receiver comes off the board to the Dallas could certainly send a shockwave through the NFL. Assuming the Cowboys were open to trading George Pickens, an ideal return would be the first round pick. That's not incredibly likely given his history and the salary he is setting to command. However, that means more realistic return would be a second round selection. So a Dallas currently doesn't have selection in a second round, and adding one might allow them to truly rebuild the defensive side of the ball. So there is many reasons why the Cowboys could be comfortable trading a wide receiver, George Pickens. For the Cowboys, trading Pickens wouldn't be completely about the return. While they would be getting more bucks than what they traded for Pickens in 2025, the real reason they would be open to the move is to avoid paying another receiver high dollar contract after extending a CeeDee Lamb contract in 2024. This only makes sense. However, if there is a viable wide receiver, perhaps they do not dart in Elian Flowner, who had a strong second season in the NFL. If the Cowboys believe Flowner could take another steps this year, they might be more comfortably trading Pickens and adding more firepower to their defense. The Dallas Cowboys are armed with a two first-round picks in 2026 NFL Draft. With just 3 weeks until the festivity kicks off on the North Shore in the Pittsburgh, the Dallas has plenty of option when a draft rolls around as it continues looking to improve the roster. A common opinion is that the Dallas Cowboys should use both first-round picks on the star and defensive prospect to improve their put lead unity, which ranked number 13 overall in the league last season. But what if the team decided to use some extra picks to move around in the NFL draft order? That's exactly what Bruce Feldman of The Athletic suggests for the Cowboys should do. In this latest mock draft, Feldman has the Cowboys making a major trade with Arizona Cardinals to land the player number 3 overall picks in the draft. So you would think the Cowboys would have to give up both first-round picks to enter the top 3, right? Not if you are a Feldman. His trade proposal has the Cowboys pulling off the draft day haste that would send the number 12 overall picks and the team third rounder to the Cardinal pick number 3 to land the Texas Tech superstar David Baylor. And also the Dallas Cowboy targets 4 wide receivers in 2026 NFL draft and mocks. A wide receiver might not be pressing needs for the Dallas Cowboys, but they could still consider adding one of these 4 prospects in the 2026 NFL Draft. The NFL Draft takes place in 3 weeks, and the Dallas Cowboys currently have 2 picks in the round 1 and 8 selection overall. They are expected to focus on defense early, which makes sense considering this side of the ball was disaster for them in 2025. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer wouldn't rule out an offensive player in round 1, but that feels unlikely unless a premier talent fall to them. Still, the Cowboys are doing their homework on every pair, and that includes a wide receiver even with a CeeDee Lamb and hopefully George Pickens on the roster. Dallas could add more depth. That said, he is look at 4 wide receivers and who would make a sense. Those 4 wide receiver, we're going to see about those 4 wide receiver and who can make a sense when signed with a Dallas Cowboy. Number 1 is Skylar Bailey. At 6 foot and 192 pounds, Skylar Bailey isn't the biggest wide receiver, but also he is dominated during his final season with the Huskies. Bailey had 101 receptions for 1,278 yards and 13 touchdowns. He has the versatility to play inside, the outside, and displayed a solid athleticism at the NFL combined when he can run 40 yards dash on the second and recorded 41 inches on a vertical jump. The other player who has a chance more than other is a Bryce Lance. From a North Dakota state. Trey Lance didn't pan out on backup quarterbacks in the Dallas, but perhaps they could have a better luck with his young brothers. Bryce Lance emerged as a star for a North Dakota State, tapping 1,000 yards receiving in each of his final 2 seasons with a Bisons. He doesn't offer much versatility, seems as primarily an ex-receiver, but he wins a contested passes and has more than enough juice to beat a defender's downfield. Player number 3 is Alegi Virgil on Texas Tech. The Cowboys have been linked to 3 defenders on Texas Tech, with a David Baylor, a Lomelo Haight, and Jacob Rodriguez, all named as a potential fits. That doesn't mean that shouldn't be a scouting the Red Raiders offense as well. On that side, the ball, Leggy Virgil stands out as an integrity prospect after locking up 816 yards and averaging 19 yards per catch for a Miami Virgil. Transferred to Texas Tech. With a Red Raiders, he recorded 75 yards and 6 touchdowns. What really would make him popular with a Dallas coaching staff is his competitiveness, and which include his work as a blocker. Also, Omar Cooper Jr. former player of Indiana, is the one receiver the Cowboys have met with is Omar Cooper Jr., who is a potential first-round pick, a well-rounded receiver who can do it all, and a Cooper is seen as ideal wide receiver at the next level. And to develop our Cowboy Insiders platform, the next one is a CD Lamb. CD Lamb is offensive superstar calling the Lord. A wide receiver, CD Lamb has firmly established himself as one of the NFL elite offensive weapons. So entering in 2026, Lamb is not just a top receiver, he is arguably the face of the Cowboys offense. After a multiple explosive season, CD Lamb's Lord continue to expand, primarily deep threat, reliable possession receiver, and leader in the locker room. The Cowboys have already made significant financial commitment to CD Lamb, signaling that he will remain a cornerstone of the franchise for years to come. So that's why the Dallas Cowboys still focusing on a CD Lamb contract. The Micah Parsons is a defensive dominance and leadership. Defensively, everything resolved around Micah Parsons. Parsons continues to dominate opposing offensive with his versatility, speed, and relentless pressure. Whether lining up as edge rusher, linebacker, he has to become one of the most feared defenders in NFL. So as of 2026, discussions about Micah Parsons are no longer about potential. They are about a legacy. Many analysts already consider him a perennial defensive player of the year candidate in the NFL, and also the emotional leaders of the Cowboys defense and future Hall of Fame trajectory players if he maintains this level. The Cowboys are expected to ensure a person to remain in Dallas for long term, no matter the cost will require for a good player like Micah Parsons. So the head coach Mike McCarthy continues to face a heavy pressure entering this season. Despite maintaining a competitive record, the inability to translate a regular season success into a playoff victories has raised a serious concerns about the team leadership. So there are growing a whispers that could be make or break season for MC Carth, and a nearly playoff exit may trigger major coaching changes, and the Cowboys could explore a younger and more aggressive coaching options in the future of NFL and Dallas Cowboys. So the expectation is that Dallas will be simple: compete for the Super Bowl or face consequences. The Cowboys have approached 2026 off-season with a mix of cautions and urgency. While the care of the team remains intact, several areas still need improvement. So for the offensive line, once a dominant unity, the offensive line now faces a questions about consistency and durability. So strengthening protection for the Dak Prescott is a top priority. The ground attack has lacked explosiveness in recent seasons. Dallas is actively evaluating options to add a dynamic running back who can complement the passing game. While the star like Micah Parsons lead the defense, a depth across a roster remain a concern, especially against an